Australians sometimes feel anger and loss when iconic Aussie companies are sold to overseas interests, like, for example, when America's Campbell Soup Company took over the much-loved Arnott's biscuits in the 90s. It's something that's also happened to confectionery. Lollies like Minties, Fantails, Freddo Frogs and Bertie Beetles were all developed locally but bought out by international conglomerates. The Australian heritage of those products isn't always easy to track as the years pass, but one Brisbane social historian is giving it a go. Peter McCutcheon reports.
It's just sugar, gelatine, a bit of starch and food colouring. So why are they so fascinating?
Well, they taste fantastic for a start. They're also a bit of a gustatory adventure because you don't really know what you're going to get when you put it in your mouth. But I'm really interested too in those other aspects of lollies apart from just what they taste like. So kids play games with them, rolling Jaffas down the aisle in the picture theatre was a big part of our lolly history. The fact that they look so beautiful, they look like jewellery.
Hey, Willie, can I stick some truffle liquid and footings of coconut and footings of caramel?
You got any money?
You bet I've got money.
The fact that they give kids the power to enter into the world of the consumer, they're all aspects of our lolly history that we don't think about.
So it's more than just a sugar hit?
Oh yeah, much more than just a sugar hit.
Social history researcher Tony Risson is looking into a popular but seldom documented part of Australia's past. For the British, they're sweets. For Americans, candy. But in the Australian vernacular, it's that delicious mouthful, lollies.
Well, I think lollies are magic. I don't think of them as food at all. I think for kids, they're part of the magic of childhood.
Give us a bit of lolly, Joey. You've got your own day. Buy your own lollies.
At the turn of last century, Australia had hundreds of local lolly makers. Many developed their own products.
I think there have probably been thousands and thousands of individual lolly types that have passed across the counter, and some of them were only designed to be just one batch, so a week and they're gone, they never come back again. So I'm also interested in which ones, what is it about those ones that become Australian icons, like Minties, Fantails, Jaffas, and the ones that you never hear from again, things like Monster Braid and Moonshine Biffs, what were they?
One of those iconic lollies was developed by a small Australian family company that's still around today. The machinery is new, but the psychedelic-looking substance is based on a recipe developed over 80 years ago. This is the home of what's claimed to be the original sherbet bomb.
Dad invented the sherbet bomb. And then when Dean came into the business, my son, he invented the fruity sherbet bombs.
Bob McQuaid is the second of 3 generations to have owned and operated the Melbourne-based Lagoon Confectioners. His children have continued the sweet family tradition.
I thought, I need a job. I thought I'll just work at the factory for a few months and see if I can find another job. But 20 years later, I'm still here. And I just couldn't leave the family. It was such a good family business, and I felt I just can't leave them.
Also lasting 3 generations is the Brisbane-based Lewins Confectioners. But unfortunately, the company didn't quite make its 100th anniversary and closed down its Woolloongabba factory 2 years ago. So Ethel, you've still got bits of your factory here?
Yeah, a few little bits that we've found.
This is very Queensland?
Yeah, I couldn't throw them away. That's pineapple, yeah. Into the 90s, and from then on we did find things getting harder economically.
Athol Lewin is proud of his family history and recently discovered the 1904 apprenticeship papers of his grandfather. Apprentice in the art and mystery of manufacturing confectionery.
Amazing, isn't it?
It's quite poetic.
Yeah, I think in those days it was a mystery to most people, I think, and it definitely was an art.
And this brings us back to Tony Risson's thesis that lollies, especially in the early to mid-20th century, were a type of magic.
They did find the lolly counter this enchanting sort of place. They just were dazzled by the amount of the colour and the sparkle.
Lollies have evolved over the years. Some have disappeared and new ones are invented, reflecting the values and mores of the times. And the lollies kids are buying today tell an interesting tale.
These kids tend to go for the disgusting things, like the excess of their culture comes out in their love for really gross lollies. So they like things called rip snorter booger balls and brain blasters.
And for the more conservative, the sherbet bomb is still being produced by a third generation of lolly makers.
We all seem to be happy in there. We joke around, and I think it's the sugar makes us high or something. We always seem to be laughing and having fun. We're serious, but we get our work done, but we have fun, jokes, and have a laugh.
Peter McCutcheon reporting.